put it in the back link.
Rider, you don't wanna fuck with me. Got the police busting at me, but they can't do nothing to us. Driven in plus cars, this life is a rap star. It's nothing without God. Was born rough and rugged. I'm dressing the man public. My attitude was fuck it. These motherfuckers love it to be a soldier. Must maintain composure at ease. Don't like it's complicated. Only what you make it to be. And my business as a rider. The got you while she hot and horns go up inside her. Then I spit some game in the ear. Go to the telly ho. You put with money in the bin. Cause bitch I'm belly broke. I'm smoking bomb ass weed. Feeling crucial. From player to player. The gang fight. Feelings mutual. From hustling and prayers to begging motherfuckers to pay us. I got no time for these bitches, cause these so hard to play us. I'm on a meal, ticket mission, want a meal. So I'm wishing competition got me blitzed. On that bullshit they stress. I'm a rhyme though, clown hoes like it's mandatory. No bless, no glory, my nigga bitch got the game distorted. Now it's on in the zone because I said so. Can trust the bitch in the business, so I got with damn bro. Now these money hungry bitches getting suspicious. Started plotting and planning on the scheme to come and twist us. But thug niggas be on point and game tight. Recycling Bogart strapped up the same night. Got problems and handle it, motherfuckers see me. These niggas is jealous, too deep in their heart, they wanna be me. And now you got me right beside you. Hoping you listen, I catch you paying attention to my ambitions as a rider. I'm a straight rider. My ambitions as a rider. It was my only wish to rise above these jealous coward motherfuckers I despise. When it's time to ride, I was the first officer. Give me the 9. I'm ready to die right here tonight and motherfuck they life. That's what they screaming as they drill me, but I'm hard to kill. So open fire, so you kill me, witness my steel. Spitting it adversaries, envious and after me. I'd rather die before they capture me. Watch me bleed, mama come rescue me. I'm suicidal, thinking thoughts. I'm innocent, said every bullet's flying when I'm caught. Fuck doing jail time, better days sacrifice. Don't get a chance to do me like they did my nigga Ty. Thug it for life, and if you right, the nigga die for it. And the motherfuckers try, at least you try for it. When it's time to die, to be a man to pick the way you lead. Fuck peace and the police, my ambitions as a rider. I'm a straight rider, you don't wanna fuck with me. My ambitions as a rider. But they can't do nothing to a G. My murderous lyrics equip with spirit to the thugs before me. Stay off the block, you baby got, cause I know they coming for me. I've been hesitant to be up here, been away for years, never back my adversary. Been reduced to tears, clutching my methods with the speed. Show us a bitch and bleed, niggas are feeling fine. My mother's corrupt and see, blast me but they didn't finish. Didn't diminish my power, so now I'm back to be a motherfucking menace. They cowards, that's why they try to set me up. Have bitch ass niggas on my team, so indeed they wet me up. But I'm back, reincarnated, incarcerated at the time I called the breakaway to God made it. Listen with lyrics, it's legendary. Musical mercenary for money, I had these motherfuckers buried. Getting much mad at jail, niggas telling me to kill it. Knowing when I get out, they gon' feel it. Witness the realest of who rider when I put the shit inside you. Rise from all your people when they find you. Let's remind you, my history of proof authentic. Revenge on the niggas to play me. And all the cowards that was down with it. Now it's your nigga right beside you. Hoping you listen, got you paying attention to my ambitions as a rider. I'm a straight rider, you don't wanna fuck with me. My ambitions as a rider. But they can't do nothing to a G. I won't deny it, I'm a straight rider, you don't wanna fuck with me. Got the police rushing at me, but they can't do nothing to a G. And I'm screaming, I won't deny it, I'm a straight rider, you don't wanna fuck with me.
All right. That's how we starting today's show. Go ahead and put on my camera. Make sure I'm good. I'm good, everybody on the panel. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Definitely gonna be a good one today. Of course, You know what channel it is. This is the Lost Confederacy channel, and this is week 11 of the 13-week fiscal program for American prisoners of war. As always, you have myself, Chief Biko, as always, Chief Alligator, and as always, Chief Quietwater. But before we get started today, there's definitely a lot of things that I personally want to address, especially when it comes to the highly schooled of our group. And when I say our group, I use the term African American, Black, colored Negro loosely, only because that's basically what we've been tagged as underneath this military occupation that this government has been pretty much having us underneath. But as I stated earlier, definitely have to address a few things. Now, just to make sure everybody's up to date, want to address this showing of where Brother Jabari tried to pretty much debunk our proof of what we know is that we are the American. So he tried to present, proof of claim of sources that debunked what we know to be truth, which is, again, that we are the American. And what I witnessed Brother Jabari do on Thursday was no different from what a preacher does on Sunday with his congregation. And I'm going pretty much lay the example down of why I say that is. We all know that Pan-Africanism is dead, but we also know that it's a belief system, no different from Christianity, Judaism, Islam, etc. So with that, I'm a pretty much run a parallel between, again, what religion is and what Pan-Africanism is, because we know it's a belief system. And one thing that I want to highlight is a quote from Dr. Carter G. Woodson, and this quote is just like perfect because it really is pertaining to the church. But what we'll see is that it rhymes a lot like what, again, Pan-Africanism or Pan-Africans do in regards to our people. So I'm gonna read quote 8 in its entirety, and then after that, I'm going to just substitute a few words and let's just see if it still rhymes or if it still sounds the same, okay? So quote 8, in the church, where we have much freedom and independence, we must get rid of preachers who are not prepared to help the people whom they exploit. The public must refuse to support men of this type. Ministers who are the creations of the old educational system must be awakened. And if this is impossible, they must be dethroned. Those who keep the people in ignorance and play upon their emotions must be exiled. The people have never been taught what religion is. For most of the preachers find it easier to stimulate the superstition which develops in the unenlightened mind. Religion in such hands then becomes something with which you take advantage of weak people. Why try to enlighten the people in such matters when superstition serves just as well for exploitation? Now, just read that. Obviously, we see that it's dealing with the church, more specifically Christianity, Catholicism, anything, again, dealing with the church. Now, I'm going to substitute a few words in here, and let's just see how what Dr. Carter G. Woodson is saying about the church, how that rhymes exactly what we're dealing with when it comes to this Pan-Africanism. So if we read this, and I'm going to substitute church and just put, let's just say school. In the school, where we have much freedom and independence, we must get rid of teachers who are not prepared to help the people whom they exploit. The public must refuse to support men of this type. Teachers who are the creations of the old educational system must be awakened. And if this is impossible, they must be dethroned. Those who keep the people in ignorance and play upon their emotions must be exiled. Isn't that exactly what a lot of Pan-Africans do? To get you all caught up in this slave narrative story, the transatlantic slave, oh, you were brought over here in ships, stacked on top of each other like sardines. Don't make sense, but they'll play upon the emotions. The people have never been taught what real education is. For most of the teachers, find it easier to stimulate the superstition which develops in the unenlightened mind. Again, education in such hands, or schooling rather, in such hands then becomes something with which you take advantage of weak people. Why try to enlighten the people in such matters when superstition serves just as well for exploitation? So what I just did there was pretty much run a parallel between the church and this Pan-Africanism, again, belief system theory, in which a lot of our so-called, educators, teachers, highly schooled, like to continue to perpetuate, like to continue beat upon or beat into our people's head. Why would I want to be represented by something that, one, does not pertain to my story or my family, but two, does not exist? And when I say does not exist, African American does not exist in law underneath this government, and neither does Black, colored, or Negro. So again, I know we've already pretty much proclaimed this, whether it was on, Copper Empress channel, pretty much all of the American history channels have proclaimed this, and that is that Pan-Africanism is dead. But, a lot of so-called scholars that I've witnessed are pretty much living examples of the 5 stages of grief. So I'll start off with the first stage of grief, which is denial. So what we saw, if you were, participating, or if you was in the chat at the time on Sinetta TV, when I asked Brother Jabari to please show me the document in which Congress declared a civil war. Now, we know on this channel, Congress has never declared a war. Why do we know that? We searched for it, and also nobody, as long as we've been making that statement, has provided the proof of claim to say otherwise. So not only did we show that on our channel, but we showed the operating procedure or the operating manual of this government and who has the right, or who has the power rather, to declare war. That's Congress, coming out of the legislative branch. So not the executive branch, not the judicial branch, and damn sure not Brother Jabari in regards to who can declare war. So we state who can declare war, Congress. If there's no document in which Congress declared a war, then why are you, who professes yourself to be a teacher, a professor, Brother Jabari in particular, call it a civil war when Congress never declared it as such? That's denial. Perfect example of denial. Not only that, it's a perfect example of straight up lies. Yet you're a teacher and you have to be held accountable for that. And if you don't want to be held accountable, pretty much that's just showing that you're at the lowest level of maturity, basically a child. Child doesn't want to be held accountable when it eats all this candy from Halloween after its parents told it not to. So if you are supposed to be a teacher teaching children, yet your maturity level is on the same stage in regards to not being held accountable for calling something that it is not, and continuing to go along with that lie, you're in straight denial. Next stage would be anger. This one is funny to me because I was just thinking back, the last time we went on Sinetta TV, I believe it was Lord Abba tried to come up and provide sources, which I can give him credit, he provided sources, but his sources did not supersede our sources, which is, again, who makes law? Congress. Congress never declared or never wrote African American, Black, Negro, or colored into its law. So once we showed that, again, Lord Abba showed his sources, we showed ours superseded his, he became angry. And you know why you become angry is because, one, you're in denial, but also you're angry that what you've been learning has been a lie. So we're seeing this Pan-Africanism slowly get broken down, and what we're watching a lot of these so-called scholars go through are the 5 stages of grief. I'll go to the next one, bargaining. I'm not sure if you remember this, Chief Quietwater, but I remember Dr. Reggie specifically saying to, and I'm paraphrasing, Chief Alligator, join us. Join us in this fight. Is that not bargaining?
Exactly. Right.
Is that not asking somebody to do something that you obviously know is
that is right.
But you're trying to get him on a side that, one, doesn't exist.
Right.
So why would I want to be a part of something that does not exist and rep that? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. The next stage, we'll go to depression, which is pretty much a lot of people. You know, as we go through this, a lot of people will realize that, you know, they need to live without this addiction of Pan-Africanism. And if they don't, they will suffer the consequences. And when it becomes something like that, and you realize that this belief system has done nothing for you, but you don't want to change, it's either because you're lazy, stupid, or just don't give a damn. So I think we have to realize as well, coming from the American history side, some people just don't care. Some people just comfortable in their ignorance. But those of you that want to actually be enlightened, now we're talking about the last stage, which is acceptance. All we ask you to do on this channel is look at your family. We're not asking you to come up with, you know, the combinations or come up with the system to build a rocket ship. We ask you to simply ask your parents where you come from, your grandparents where you come from, if they're still living, and just trace your family lineage back. We're not asking you to do nothing crazy. And if you're unable to do that, or if you're unwilling to do that, I think that shows more about yourself than it does about the stuff that we are providing, which is proof of claim. All the stuff we provide is proof of claim, whether it's in law, with Congress, or treaties, or acts. All of it is proof of claim. So I just definitely wanted to address that. And again, just continue to declare Pan-Africanism is dead, but it's a lot of people who are still going through the 5 stages of grief in regards to that death. So I'll go ahead and pass the mic to Chief Alligator. I think you wanted to make some statements as well, and then we'll get into tonight's bill.
Yeah, am I clear? Mic check.
Yes, sir.
All right, before I get into what I got to say, can we black out momentarily, play that last video in the back chat? Y'all stick and stay for about 4 minutes. I need some crunk music before I get in my bill.
Go ahead and play this one in the chat.
Info.
I got you, got you. Give it a second to load.
Shout out to everybody that's in the chat as well and everybody in the building. I'll come right in as soon as we play this little motivation song right.
Yeah. Can I speak?
No Limit Studio.
Yeah. Can I speak to P?
P ain't here.
Hey, yo, tell them Pastor Troy and them down south. Your boy said, since everybody think they soldiers, then what's up? We'll go to war.
My nigga, fuck what you say, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga, fuck what you say, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga, fuck what you say, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga, fuck what you say, ain't no more playing GA. Hey now, what's up? Big mouth, big talk, big game. Keep the pet, taking aim. Politics, I'm taking aim. Plenty rain, plenty shot, plenty chain, plenty block. Pack the heat, and I'ma keep them high, and I'ma take my cut straight off. I'm not nothing like anyone once on the mic. Wish you might show you right. Have y'all thinking I'm very white. In the night, pack them tight. Call the fight. TKO. We got more. You ain't know. Numero. Keep it old. We burn it slow. We out the mode. Y'all switch the sweet and don't repeat. I'm too unique. Sit back. Be quiet in the pack. Pre. I made the beat. You beat your meat. Yeah, bro. You touch yourself. It be Pastor Troy. DSGB. Represent until my death. To anyone else that won't us. You can trust it. Ain't no fear. You talk that in my ear. But that shit. You come down here. Anyone else that won't us. You can trust it. Ain't no fear. You talk that in my ear. But that shit. Come down here. My nigga, fuck what you say. Ain't no more playing GA. My nigga, fuck what you say. Ain't no more playing GA. My nigga, fuck what you say. Ain't no more playing GA. My nigga, fuck what you say. My nigga, fuck what you say. My nigga, fuck what you say. Ain't no more playing GA. My nigga, fuck what you say. Ain't no more playing GA. My nigga, fuck hate me. All these niggas be hating me because we keep all of these OP, add an E, OPP, we ain't down. None of my folk don't fuck around. Quick spit, every round. Come on, clown, you so bad, you so raw, you so mean. In the car, look at me, all you see is the pain. I'm the king, up the throne, still shown, every song. Punk dude not live too long, pass the toy and not his song. Just say, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga flying, just say, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga flying, just say, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga flying, just say, we say it flying, just say, my nigga flying, just say, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga flying, just say, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga flying, just say, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga flying, just say, we say it flying, just shit. I made it carry my lobby, make they have it my hobby. Bought the little arm and hammer cookies that sell the copy. Got me watching for coppers, all I want is to prosper. Niggas grinding with me, don't know they claiming they shit. So fuck TV, cause this real, just change your hair, take the station. Watch the story about hating, then another about facing. I'm taking risks to get it, but now I'm sick of this shit. So with these lack of dollars, we gon' flip it legit. I bought this beat machine, about big as a calculator. Who would you ever dream? We hit the studio later, it's like I owe them bases for making me take this serious. Waiting for the struggle, cause you would not be hearing this. In the midst, I'm pressing out 3 times a day. What I'm doing down here, nigga, this why I stay. I just pray that I relate a message to some and let them know, goddamn, ain't no more play around. Shit, my nigga say, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga playing GA, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga playing GA, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga playing GA, my nigga playing GA. My nigga playing GA, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga playing GA, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga playing GA, ain't no more playing GA. My nigga playing GA, my nigga playing GA. Shit is real.
Hey, yo, Dort.
I appreciate that, Chief Biko. So yeah, we addressing let me say first, shout out to Sinetta TV. Respect your platform, bro. Respect your hustle. I understand that you the referee and your job is to keep a team that can get in the ring and go against anybody else that's on the platform called the internet that can get in the ring and dance with your guys. So the reality is, I just want to walk something through right quick. So this ain't got nothing to do with the referee because you're not in the ring. You see what I'm saying? But everybody that fuck with us know how we get down. You see what I'm saying? And when we talk about scholarship, I'm talking about mastery, which is going to supersede scholarship. We let the documents precede us. So everybody that fuck with us, everybody know how we rocking, we let the documents precede us. So you got the documents before we came on and did our presentation. Now, why do we do that with you, Sinetta? Because we knew that you got your team and we knew that they were going to evaluate what we coming with, you know. And I'm gonna start with Dr. Reggie first, since he likes to play around in the judicial branch. You know what I'm saying? You know how that court thing works. You got to let your documents precede you. Now comes Chief Alligator. So we went on there and we did our thing. And when I realized very early on in the ring, you ain't working with nothing. So we put you on a timetable. You know, like when you in the court system, Dr. Reggie, you know how you got X amount of days to file something, you know what I'm saying? X amount of days to receive something back. So I gave you a week. I said, give them a week. Because I know they ain't never studied this because y'all so focused on Africa. Y'all don't know nothing about what happened on America's land. Week, let's see what they come up with. Week went by, nothing, nothing. Lord, I buy, nothing. You feel me? Dr. Reggie, nothing. So damn, who is Big Dogs? Where they at? Crickets. So we knew then, Sinetta, your team ain't working with nothing when it comes to American history. We knew it. It was too quiet. So, you know, down south, we got a saying, you know, when your shit flimsy, bro, we got to go straight in it. So unfortunately, bro, I know we were out of order. We wasn't supposed to bum rush. You know, evidently Jabari is your big dog. We wasn't supposed to bum rush the ring like that. But we did it because ain't no respect for them niggas. You give it up. Let me just come straight up with it. And I'm saying that I'm talking my talk, but I'm saying this, and again, for the people that's listening, I'm not disrespectful. Just let me get in my bag and let me talk how I talk. We don't see none of them so-called scholars, bro. That's why we came up there like that. Straight up. So now, the first thing that I noticed, and after Chief Biko got in the ring, and he tried you. Straight up, Jabari, he tried you. We don't think you know American history, bro. That's why we came like that. We don't think you know American history, dog. You might know African history, but you don't know American history. So what y'all were doing for the last couple of weeks is y'all were looking it up, vetting everything we had, and y'all realized like, damn, they fire over there. You see what I'm saying? But instead of giving us credit and just be like, look, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all the specialists on the American history side, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, respect, you know, what you want to do now is you want to play games. And that's what we're not going to do. We're not going to play games. So I know y'all like to think, and I'm not saying this, taking a jab at you, Sarnetta, but when you mention my name, you were like, they like to call themselves animals. So I just want to clear up that name thing first so we can put some respect on the name Chief Alligator and so that everybody can understand why I'm Chief Alligator. So let me see if I can share my screen real quick. We can get into this. Let's minimize that. Let's go here. All right, am I clear, y'all? Let me see. Do I need to make this a little bigger?
Clear, hold on. It's just not popped
It's
up
not
yet.
showing yet.
Okay, okay. Y'all let me know when it's showing before I take off. Okay, y'all can see it?
Yes.
Okay, so when you play in the realm of mastery, everything is 10 to 20 steps calculated ahead. So I'm gonna break down where I got the name Chief Alligator from. And Dr. Reggie, I'm gonna come at you first. So you gotta come down south to know how an alligator moves. It's the last of the dinosaurs. You understand? We play in that swamp. It get real dirty in Florida. Told you I grew up in South Florida, Broward County, Lauderdale to be exact. But let me bite you one time and bring you on in this water. So let's read who Chief Alligator is and why I got that name and why I'm honoring that ancestor. First, let me give you the area that this memorial is located. This is in Tampa Bay, Florida. All right, it's in a party section of Tampa Bay known as Ybor City. Okay, that's where this memorial is at. So for anybody that's in that Tampa Bay area watching this, go to Ybor City and check out this memorial sitting right there in the heart of the party area in Tampa. So it says historic Fort King Trail, the old military road connecting Fort Brooke, Tampa and Fort King, Ocala, ran through this vicinity. On December 23rd, 1835, Major Francis L. Dade, which is where you get the name Dade County for Miami from, set out over the trail with a detachment of 109 soldiers to reinforce the small garrison at Fort King. On the morning of December 28th, 1835, Chief Alligator, leading the Seminoles and Maroons, ambushed the Dade expedition near Bushnell. Only 3 survived the Dade massacre, planned by the fiery Osceola, marked the beginning of the Second Seminole War. Now that's personal to me growing up in Florida because we weren't taught this in school. And I'll get to you, Dr. Jabari, you know, for purposes of this video, because you're so confined to your curriculum and you're so isolated within your 4 walls of your schoolroom that when you come outside of that room and outside of that building and off that campus, you can't correlate with the real world and what the book is saying. I understand that. That's called scholarship in your world. I'm on the mastery side. You understand? We create stuff and then present it to the public. You know how they reconstructed what really happened? Well, we deconstructing it and putting it back together the way it should. So when you say the name Chief Alligator, understand you're honoring one of our heroes by default and you didn't even know it. Now, in Pan-Africanism and this losing culture that we've had currently, we put our deceased on our shirts and we rep that shit. You know, shout out and respect to all the mothers and fathers that lost people since Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Philando Castile. We've gotten in a habit of honoring the wrong people. You need to be honoring the people that was washing the people that was trying to take your land. So that's my first point. Let's get some straightening with the name Chief Alligator. Ain't nothing play, ain't nobody picking random animals. Nah, I'm honoring warlords that was really on this land, really putting in work. That's first point. Let's get into it. Dr. Reggie, come on in this swamp, bro. Come on in here. Let me get to the first point with you. After Chief Biko stepped out the ring, you and Dr. Jabari had a lot of things to say. And one of the things you said, Dr. Reggie, You went through a whole dialogue about the AIM movement, what happened after King was assassinated and how the Native Americans got their own government. And here's where you messed up, Dr. Reggie. You said that we, the American, are on the tits of the African American because we can't be Native American and we don't want to be US citizens. So we're on the tit of the Afro American. My first response to you, Dr. Reggie, is there's no way you can be a scholar, bruh. I told you when I first interacted with you in the ring, there's no lawful definition of Negro, Black, colored, or Afro-American. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're claiming that a group of people are on the tit of an imaginary group. That's point one. Let me get into it. Your second point was you said that we got to file a case. Now, when I first asked you who you are, and I'll give you the opportunity to let your documents precede you, you gave me a long diatribe about your extensive experience with the judicial branch. Your gears are stuck, Dr. Reggie. This is a legislative and an executive branch issue, not a judicial branch issue. But when you a one-trick pony and all you got is a left jab, that's all you got is a jab. And when you can't get that jab established, you stuck. I'm going to go to my next exhibit because you know we always show proof of claim over here. Dr. Reggie, this is Martin Luther King after the 1965 Voting Rights Act. Even Martin Luther King knew it was a legislative and an executive branch issue. It's 2023, bro, and you still thinking it's a judicial branch issue. You're not on my level, dog. You're not on my level. MLK knew that in the 60s. Why get tangled up in the King's court? You need to be dealing with Congress and you need to be dealing with Lyndon Baines Johnson. My second exhibit on this same point. Dr. Reggie, Dr. Jabari, as I explained when I was in there greasing up everybody that Sonetta allowed in the ring that night when I was talking about jurisprudence, do you notice what was more important to Martin Luther King in the 60s? He understood jurisprudence as well. He was going to be there when the president was signing what the House and the Senate passed to him, and he wanted to be there and watch the president sign it into law. So Dr. Reggie, you're not on my level, bro. You stuck in a branch that even Dr. King wasn't focused on over 60 years ago. Now, what you can do if you listening to this video, man, take notes, bro. We are open book over here. Every video we do, we drop proof of claim. Learn something, bro. You ain't ready, dog. You ain't ready. I'm Mike Tyson, you Larry Holmes. You already know the rest. Next point, as I close that out. Let me slow it down as I start to spin Reggie under the water because alligators are known for drowning you first and then we'll bury you. You know what I'm saying? Put that little prudent reserve to the side and then we'll come back up on land and chill and let the sun, you know, cool us off with our mouth open so we can get a little air. That's how we rocking. Your third point you said, Reggie, you said it's very dangerous that we're talking about American history. And you and Jabari both said it's bigger than you, and it's another cat that you mentioned. It's bigger than whoever the three or four big dogs on Sonetta, you know, that he'll get in the ring, allow in the ring. Y'all said it's bigger than y'all, that y'all need everybody to get in on this because this is serious. And y'all said, what? American history is growing. What's interesting to me is before we launched this channel and went public for the world to see it, we were anticipating Europeans wanting smoke. We took the name Confederacy and we said, you know who's gonna be the first one to have a problem with it? It's gonna be them rednecks. But when you know, almost 2 years later, Reggie, who got the problem with the truth that we putting out with proof of claim? Europeans ain't said nothing in almost 2 years. Who really is the problem? This, ladies and gentlemen, is what the Civil Rebellion was all about. Some of us were with the Union. And some of us was with the Confederates. And some of them white folks who worked for us and know we took care of them and know we helped them coming from nothing from Europe, they fought with us too. But then they switched up on us because ultimately they couldn't go back to Europe. So even though they helped us fight, they ended up switching sides, going back with the Union. But this is what this is, bro. And it is what it is. I see it plain and clear. It is what it is, bro. This the Union versus the Confederacy. So a lot of things got exposed last week or earlier this week. Who we really fighting? Europeans ain't saying nothing, bro. We ain't getting no crazy comments from white folks talking about that's our heritage and we ain't getting none of that. Because at least they got enough sense to know, damn, they go to proof of claim. You know, Dr. Reggie, you know how when you in a courtroom, I'm sure you know this because you stay in the judicial branch because that's all you can really talk about. But you know when you do a court case, right? It's two types of court cases. Now, what we know is lawyers will take any case. We know that, right? The best case to take is one where you got evidence that you can enter into the record. Yes? That's why we come with proof of claim. When you got evidence that you can enter into the record, that courtroom be real quiet, don't it? Only thing you hear is papers moving and motherfucker stamps hitting that motherfucker. The other attorney over there ain't got shit to say because they ain't got no evidence. But for some reason on Sinetta's channel in that ring, you niggas don't be having no evidence and y'all be lying. All on the table, throwing Black's Law dictionaries all in the, what's going on, bro? Y'all be saying source up and we sourced up over here. We tanked up. So in summary, Dr. Reggie, bro, I hope you got some people that's in the lab with you, or you might have to, you might have to hit the corner on 125th in Harlem, man. You might have to get on that bell horn, man, and be like, can anybody help us? Because I'm giving both of y'all C-Ds when it comes to American history. Let me get into my last point with Dr. Reggie. It's a line drawn in the sand now, bro. The line is, you can click up and Confederate with us and stay in your lane, which is African history, and let the people that's repping the land and their lineage kick that American history. But we're gonna have to put scalps on the table, bro. So I'm extending that olive branch to Dr. Reggie. You can get in your lane and you can admit, man, I am great at certain things. But them lost Confederate cats, they got us on that American history because I really didn't put the man I was in to really understand it. I really, went off to college and thought I was better than my family. I think my grandmama slow and my great grandmama slow, so I didn't really want to listen to them about the history of what happened to us. You could take that route, or you could be arrogant with your ignorance, and then it's going to be off with your intellectual head. Now let's get to supposedly the big dog on the block. Dr. Jabari. I've seen you a couple of times, man, and a couple of times I've seen you, man, you remind me of when I was in high school. You always had certain type of cats that they wouldn't hang around the high school kids. They would hang around the middle school kids and bully the middle school kids. So tonight, Dr. Reggie, somebody that's in class with you, that be on the bus with you, I'm in the back of the bus, you be in the front of the bus. You know what I'm saying? It's time to fight somebody your own size, dog. Come on in that water, bro. Bring that ass. First point with you. You said scholarship. That's a big problem amongst our people. And that's one of the reasons why we read a Dr. Carter G. Woodson quote every week. Because Dr. Carter G. Woodson said over 100 years ago that our biggest problem as a group of people is we'll go learn a little something and then we go for self. We don't come back to the community and try to put them on game. What we do is we want to monetize what we've learned. And we think that what we've learned has propelled us amongst everybody else. See, what happens with scholarship is it's called schooling, which is also called training. So if I use the example of a mule, you can school a mule when to stop, when to start, but you can't educate that mule to get that saddle off his back. It's the difference between education and being trained in school. So when you rep scholarship and I'm repping mastery, your credentials are only good on the campus in which you teach. Dr. Jabari? See, in the real world, when you don't have a limited amount or you're not relegated to an annual amount based on your position within a corporation, nobody gives a fuck about your credentials. You either know what the fuck you're talking about or you don't. So what I see is a scare tactic, because now you got some wild engines out here from the South and they talking reckless. They claiming the Confederacy, which you did concede to Chief Biko, that Confederacy was their original form of government. But see, once you start accepting one truth, you got to start accepting the rest of it, Dr. Jabari. See, what you're not going to do is try to hide behind your letters from a schooling system when you're dealing with somebody who's self-educated. Can you share your screen real quick, Chief Biko, so I can get to my first proof of claim? Because we source up over here. We just don't talk sourcing up. We source up for real, Dr. Jabari and Dr. Reggie. We don't play them games over here. Here we go to the first quote, and one of the most famous quotes that Dr. Carter G. Woodson ever said, because it was blasphemy what you were saying on Thursday. You were so contradictory. But it's needed to have this conversation because it's a lot of y'all that got degrees that think you better than somebody, or think you smarter than somebody, or think you got more money than certain people. Your balance sheet, man, I'm willing to bet you in the negative, bro. Well, I've been in the black. Hell, let me stop. First quote from Dr. Carter G. Woodson. Read along if you in the chat and you just listening, Dr. Jabari. Philosophers, thinkers have long conceded, however, that every man has two educators, that which is given him, which is what you're talking about. Where did you go to school? What type of degree do you have? And the other, that which he gives himself. Of the two kinds, the latter is by far more desirable. That man said that 100 years ago, that when you teach yourself something, instead of being spoon-fed something, it's no comparison. So again, I take it's looking like you beat up on middle school kids, bro, but you in the 10th grade. You know how these punks that are men like to try to be women and then go play with the women's basketball team? You know what I'm saying? And then win national championships and scoring titles and act like they're doing something, but you won't play with the boys. That's just an analogy I'm using. That's the vibe I'm getting. So let me get to my second point. You said the people need to be vetted. I 100% disagree, Dr. Jabari, with that statement. The information needs to be vetted. We just messengers. All we doing is providing the documents. So again, you don't have documents. So what you're trying to make it is a personality contest. Once again, you're contradicting yourself, Dr. Jabari, because you're saying that scholarship matters. So you're talking like you really want to get into the mind of a person. But in reality, you really want to get into the theater and the entertainment, because we're just liaisons to present the information to. Because if you can't show it to me in writing, it's your shit. That's what I grew up on. If you can't show me in writing what you talking about, that's your shit. So yes, I do agree. Information needs to be vetted, not the people. And what I saw last week, bro, and you teach history and you claim to be highly lettered with a lot of degrees, I didn't see nothing from the government. I didn't see nothing from the state level. I didn't see nothing from a county level. I'm thinking to myself, damn, I don't even belong in the ring with this dude. This dude's mental frequency is not like, for me to get in the ring with you, like I don't beat up on people that I know I can beat up. Straight up, dog. I haven't heard you dance where I am, bro. You still in the gym with the headgear on. Let me get to my next point. Still in alignment with vetted. What are the credentials that we bring into the table? Y'all done scouted the channel, man. We ain't dumb. After we came up there and wrecked shop, we know y'all went through the channel and we make sure we have it organized and in chronological order for all to see. You see what we working with. Everybody that rock with us, we doing page for page, line for line, paragraph for paragraph, because every day we walk out our house under this Afro-American bullshit, we've seen us get killed every way possible since Trayvon Martin, and we tired of it. And we want to know the whole truth now. We past being afraid of being murdered because we've seen it too much. So at this point, it's just truth time now. That's really what's going on now. The games are over. You either gonna keep it a bean with us or get out the way. My last point. You are a history teacher, Dr. Jabari. If I was in your class, I would purposefully come late, sit in the back, and go to sleep. I would read your table of contents. I would read what you're gonna go over prior to ever coming in your class so I can pass your easy ass class. And it's sad that you probably have students watching you who have 3 great-great-great-great-grandparents buried on this land. And you're teaching them about the Nile, and you won't teach them about the version of the Nile over here called the Mississippi River. You do know there was an exodus on this land. You do know that people from the southeast were moved to the west. That's an exodus. So we just want to throw a couple of bombs out there, man, and just let it be known. And I'm gonna extend an olive branch to you as well, Dr. Jabari. I'm gonna give you the opportunity, man, that you can't be a jack of all trades, bro. You can admit that, damn, they fired with that shit. Damn, they cited to them documents. Damn, I never thought to read them. Damn, I should have thought outside the box of the curriculum in order to get that grade so I can get that piece of paper from that European school that I thought I was the shit graduating from. Damn, I should have figured that shit out. Damn, I should have created that shit that they did instead of hating on it. And join the team. You rep African history, take the American off and say you do African history. We do American history over here. And we join the Confederation. But if your ego and your arrogance and your ignorance won't allow you to accept the truth that you can't fuck with us when it comes to American history, then it's scalp season for you too. I'm done.
I need some damn bomb effects or some shit after that. I ain't got nothing over here. If y'all just go ahead and drop some bombs in the chat or something, that sheesh, I don't even know we need to get into tonight's bill. God, dog.
Good.
But no,
I mean, and I stand on everything as well. I mean, both of you pretty much wrapped it up, just the fact that we're coming from a pure document-based or proof-based chronological breakdown of real American history. I mean, that's just the bottom line. You don't have to go back to Africa. You don't have to, dig too far to get the information. Like both of them said, just take the American off, just like Chief Alligator just said. I'm sorry, take the American off. You're only doing African history because it has nothing to do with the people who have grandparents and great-grandparents that was buried on this land. We were not all slaves. So I am in line with what both of you basically had to say.
Correct. And shoot, without further ado, we'll jump into tonight's bill regarding the gold standard act. So of course, the first thing we gotta play is this pretty much announcement here, and then we'll jump into it. So it's a little decently long video, I think about 18 minutes. So we'll probably take a few breaks in between things that kind of stick out to us while we listen. And let me know if you're able to hear it as well, Chief Quietwater.
Okay. It's not playing.
Not playing. Okay. It's out real quick.
Good evening.
Okay.
Addressed the nation a number of times over the past 2 years on the problems of ending a war Because of the progress we have made toward achieving that goal, this Sunday evening is an appropriate time for us to turn our attention to the challenges of peace. America today has the best opportunity in this century to achieve two of its greatest ideals, to bring about a full generation of peace and to create a new prosperity without war. This not only requires bold leadership ready to take bold action, it calls forth the greatness in a great people. Prosperity without war requires action on three fronts. We must create more and better jobs. We must stop the rise in the cost of living. We must protect the dollar from the attacks of international money speculators. We are going to take that action, not timidly, not half-heartedly, and not in piecemeal fashion. We are going to move forward to the new prosperity without war, as befits a great people, all together and along a broad front. The time has come for a new economic policy for the United States. Its targets are unemployment, inflation, and international speculation. And this is how we are going to attack those targets. First, on the subject of jobs. We all know why we have an unemployment problem. 2 million workers have been released from the armed forces and defense plants because of our success in winding down the war in Vietnam. Putting those people back to work is one of the challenges of peace, and we have begun to make progress. Our unemployment rate today is below the average of the 4 peacetime years of the 1960s. But we can and we must do better than that. The time has come for American industry, which has produced more jobs at higher real wages than any other industrial system in history, to embark on a bold program of new investment, of production for peace. To give that system a powerful new stimulus, I shall ask the Congress, when it reconvenes after its summer recess, to consider as its first priority the enactment of the Job Development Act of 1971. I will propose to provide the strongest short-term incentive in our history to invest in new machinery and equipment that will create new jobs for Americans. A 10% job development credit for 1 year, effective as of today, with a 5% credit after August 15, 1972. This tax credit for investment in new equipment will not only generate new jobs, it will raise productivity. It will make our goods more competitive in the years ahead. Second, I will propose to repeal the 7% excise tax on automobiles, effective today. This will mean a reduction in price of about $200 per car. I shall insist that the American auto industry pass this tax reduction on to the nearly 8 million customers who are buying automobiles this year. Lower prices will mean that more people will be able to afford new cars, and every additional 100,000 cars sold means 25,000 new jobs. Third, I propose to speed up the personal income tax exemption scheduled for January 1, 1973 to January 1, 1972, so that taxpayers can deduct an extra $50 for each exemption 1 year earlier than planned. This increase in consumer spending power will provide a strong boost to the economy in general and to employment in particular. The tax reductions I am recommending, together with this broad upturn of the economy, which has taken place in the first half of this year, will move us strongly forward toward a goal this nation has not reached since 1956, 15 years ago: prosperity with full employment in peacetime. Looking to the future, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to recommend to the Congress in January new tax proposals for stimulating research and development of new industries and new techniques to help provide the 20 million new jobs that America needs for the young people who will be coming into the job market in the next decade. To offset the loss of revenue from these tax cuts, which directly stimulate new jobs, I have ordered today a $4 7/10 billion cut in federal spending. Tax cuts to stimulate employment must be matched by spending cuts to restrain inflation. To check the rise in the cost of government, I have ordered a postponement of pay raises and a 5% cut in government personnel. I have ordered a 10% cut in foreign economic aid. In addition, since the Congress has already delayed action on two of the great initiatives of this administration, I will ask Congress to amend.
I just want to let y'all know, everybody that's listening to this, this is the Gold Standard Act of 1971. All right, so y'all stay with us. We understand their procedure and how their government is supposed to work. The House is supposed to vote on a document, Senate should have voted on a document, and then it should have went to Nixon and Nixon should have signed off. That's not what happened here. What happened here was on a commercial while Bonanza was playing. Some of y'all old enough remember the Western called Bonanza. They had a station identification break, and he's letting U.S. citizens know we're separating the dollar and gold relationship. I just wanted to say that so we don't lose anybody. We 5 minutes in, it's an 18-minute video. Just listen to it and we're going to build on some points off of it. But this is critical up until this point because he sent a lot of quote unquote Negroes off to fight an undeclared war. Vietnam was not a declared war. Is that correct, Chief Biko? I believe that's correct.
That's correct.
Right. So they, again, here we go. You see how this is rhyming? You see the trend is your friend. This is how they move. They didn't declare it. They forced us to fight in it because they drafted my parents, depending on how old you are. My dad got drafted. My mama went in the army as well. So they forced us to fight for a government that had just ended intense military occupation. Go ahead, play the video. I just wanted to drop that as a backdrop. So when we listen to it, we can see the hypocrisy because our uncles and dads were coming back from the war and couldn't get employment. But you just sent us over there to kill for a government that had us segregated 6 years prior. See the games? Go ahead, Chief Biko.
Proposals to postpone the implementation of revenue sharing for 3 months and welfare reform for 1 year. In this way, I am reordering our budget priorities so as to concentrate more on achieving our goal of full employment. The second indispensable element of the new prosperity is to stop the rise in the cost of living. One of the cruelest legacies of the artificial prosperity produced by war is inflation. Inflation robs every American, every one of you. The 20 million who are retired and living on fixed incomes, they are particularly hard hit. Homemakers find it harder than ever to balance the family budget. And 80 million American wage earners have been on a treadmill. For example, in the 4 war years between 1965 and 1969, your wage increases were completely eaten up by price increases. Your paychecks were higher, but you were no better off. We have made progress against the rise in the cost of living. From the high point of 6% a year in 1969, the rise in consumer prices has been cut to 4% in the first half of 1971. But just as is the case in our fight against unemployment, we can and we must do better than that. The time has come for decisive action, action that will break the vicious circle of spiraling prices and costs. I am today ordering a freeze on all prices and wages throughout the United States for a period of 90 days. In addition, I call upon corporations to extend the wage price freeze to all dividends. I have today appointed a cost of living council within the government. I have directed this council to work with leaders of labor and business to set up the proper mechanism for achieving continued price and wage stability after the 90-day freeze is over. Let me emphasize two characteristics of this action. First, it is temporary. To put the strong, vigorous American economy into a permanent straitjacket would lock in unfairness. It would stifle the expansion of our free enterprise system. And second, while the wage price freeze will be backed by government sanctions, if necessary, it will not be accompanied by the establishment of a huge price control bureaucracy. I am relying on the voluntary cooperation of all Americans, each one of you, workers, employers, consumers, to make this freeze work. Working together, we will break the back of inflation, and we will do it without the mandatory wage and price controls that crush economic and personal freedom. The third indispensable element in building the new prosperity is closely related to creating new jobs and halting inflation. We must protect the position of the American dollar as a pillar of monetary stability around the world. In the past 7 years, there's been an average of one international monetary crisis every year. Now, who gains from these crises? Not the working man, not the investor, not the real producers of wealth. The gainers are the international money speculators. Because they thrive on crises, they help to create them. In recent weeks, the speculators have been waging an all-out war on the American dollar. The strength of a nation's currency is based on the strength of that nation's economy. And the American economy is by far the strongest in the world. Accordingly, I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to take the action necessary to defend the dollar against the speculators. I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States. Now, what is this action, which is very technical? What does it mean for you? Let me lay to rest the bugaboo of what is called devaluation. If you want to buy a foreign car or take a trip abroad, market conditions may cause your dollar to buy slightly less. But if you are among the overwhelming majority of Americans who buy American-made products in America, your dollar will be worth just as much tomorrow as it is today. The effect of this action, in other words, will be to stabilize the dollar. Now, this action will not win us any friends among the international money traders. But our primary concern is with the American workers and with fair competition around the world. To our friends abroad, including the many responsible.
Shout out to everybody that's, in the chat listening. This is very important because he's telling bold-faced lies. He just told you that your dollar will be stronger by separating the gold that's backing it. And some people just think about what we've seen in 2020 and how the costs have escalated in the last 3 years. And think about 1971 and what he's saying. It's the same shit. Go ahead, Chief Biko.
Members of the international banking community who are dedicated to stability and the flow of trade, I give this assurance. The United States has always been and will continue to be a forward-looking and trustworthy trading partner. In full cooperation with the International Monetary Fund and those who trade with us, we will press for the necessary reforms to set up an urgently needed new international monetary system. Stability and equal treatment is in everybody's best interest. I am determined that the American dollar must never again be a hostage in the hands of international speculators. I'm taking one further step to protect the dollar, to improve our balance of payments, and to increase jobs for Americans. As a temporary measure, I am today imposing an additional tax of 10% on goods imported into the United States. This is a better solution for international trade than direct controls on the amount of imports. This import tax is a temporary action. It isn't directed against any other country. It's an action to make certain that American products will not be at a disadvantage because of unfair exchange rates. When the unfair treatment is ended, the import tax will end as well. As a result of these actions, the product of American labor will be more competitive, and the unfair edge that some of our foreign competition has will be removed. This is a major reason why our trade balance has eroded over the past 15 years. At the end of World War II, the economies of the major industrial nations of Europe and Asia were shattered. To help them get on their feet and to protect their freedom, the United States has provided, over the past 25 years, $143 billion in foreign aid. That was the right thing for us to do. Today, largely with our help, they have regained their vitality. They have become our strong competitors, and we welcome their success. But now that other nations are economically strong, the time has come for them to bear their fair share of the burden of defending freedom around the world. The time has come for exchange rates to be set straight and for the major nations to.
All right, I just want to hit on one point as we listen to this. He just said in World War II, they decimated Asian and whatever the other countries' economies. He said that this government, the United States government, gave $143 billion in aid. Here's what's key about that. The American, our grandparents who fought in World War II were not US citizens. They got no benefits from that military. You see how they were able to give the $143 billion to the countries that they tore up? Because they had a whole fighting class called NEGRO that was not citizens, so they didn't have to worry about giving them any benefits. Just wanted to throw that in. Take off, Chief Pico.
Compete as equals. There is no longer any need for the United States to compete with one hand tied behind her back. The range of actions I have taken and proposed tonight on the job front, on the inflation front, on the monetary front, is the most comprehensive new economic policy to be undertaken in this nation in 4 decades. We are fortunate to live in a nation with an economic system capable of producing for its people the highest standard of living in the world. A system flexible enough to change its ways dramatically when circumstances call for change. And most important, a system resourceful enough to produce prosperity with freedom and opportunity unmatched in the history of nations. The purposes of the government actions I have announced tonight are to lay the basis for renewed confidence, to make it possible for us to compete fairly with the rest of the world, to open the door to new prosperity. But government, with all of its powers, does not hold the key to the success of a people. That key, my fellow Americans, is in your hands. A nation, like a person, has to have a certain inner drive in order to succeed. In economic affairs, that inner drive is called the competitive spirit. Every action I have taken tonight is designed to nurture and stimulate that competitive spirit, to help us snap out of the self-doubt, the self-disparagement that saps our energy and erodes our confidence in ourselves. Whether this nation stays #1 in the world's economy or resigns itself to 2nd, 3rd, or 4th place, whether we as a people have faith in ourselves or lose that faith, whether we hold fast to the strength that makes peace and freedom possible in this world or lose our grip, all that depends on you, on your competitive spirit, your sense of personal destiny, your pride in your country and in yourself. We can be certain of this. As the threat of war recedes, the challenge of peaceful competition in the world will greatly increase. And we welcome competition because America is at her greatest when she is called on to compete. As there's always been in our history, there will be voices urging us to shrink from that challenge of competition, to build a protective wall around ourselves, to crawl into a shell as the rest of the world moves ahead. 200 years ago, a man wrote in his diary these words: "Many thinking people believe America has seen its best days." That was written in 1775, just before the American Revolution, the dawn of the most exciting era in the history of man. And today, we hear the echoes of those voices preaching a gospel of gloom and defeat, saying the same thing. We have seen our best days. I say, let Americans reply. Our best days lie ahead. As we move into a generation of peace, as we blaze the trail toward the new prosperity, I say to every American, let us raise our spirits. Let us raise our sights. Let all of us contribute all we can to this great and good country that has contributed so much to the progress of mankind. Let us invest in our nation's future. And let us revitalize that faith in ourselves that built a great nation in the past and that will shape the world of the future. Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you, everybody, for being patient with us. Chief Quietwater, can you drop the script that he just read in the chat so the people can not only have that video we just watched, but you can also have the transcript of it? And that's the gold standard act, y'all. That's it. He just came on TV and just said, hey, we finna create a whole new international monetary fund. And what's crazy, I'm coming back to American history. Our grandparents, Generation X, everybody born in the 70s, they wrote the school curriculum in a way where we would never really learn about what happened during this era. And on top of that, they took the money out of the system. He said that shit was supposed to be for 90 days. Here we are in 2023, the dollar ain't backed by gold, y'all. So now the question is, going back to what Chief Biko said about being mentally sick and needing to recover, why are we working? See, we get caught up with habits. Be a video game, it could be whatever the habit is, gambling, but we have been put into a habit of working for something that has no value while being killed for the world to see and being benign and neglected for any specific resources, even though this piece of paper has no monetary value. It's not backed by nothing, and they still won't give it to you. And there's no document coming through the through Congress, or that was signed by the president that even mentions you or defines this group of people. But we supposed to just keep starting from zero. Meanwhile, you got motherfuckers, I'm talking about this real time, y'all, this 2023 right now. We can't blame our aunts and our moms who was, fresh out of high school or, in them early stage, depending on how old you are. I wasn't even born in 71. You feel me? But if you were born after 1971, whatever they want to call these generations, we're the dumbest people that ever lived on planet Earth. I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth, because you're not getting paid money and you're dealing with racism and you're being killed and you're being gentrified. Like, you got all this shit going on for what? There is no money. Like, we're literally in the Wizard of Oz. What y'all want to say on that?
No, I definitely agree. 100%. 100%. Like you stated, not only, that, but we'll put that on the pedestal as if we're doing something. Going back to people, putting their degrees and shit on a pedestal as if that even matters when you still not being paid money, being paid fiat. Or you'll have people say, I'm a tax-paying citizen of our group, I'm saying, the one that's doesn't have any protection underneath this government, say, I'm a tax-paying citizen, as if that's something to be proud about when you're paying these same taxes to the people that's not only killing you, but building a whole paramilitary damn camp in your backyard. Talking about my people from Atlanta. So it just shows, like you said, the sickness of our people, that we'll see this or see what's going on for our group, but still be playing with this monopoly money, and hell, not even playing with that, because again, like you said, they won't even give you the damn coupons for the amusement park, even though that's the only place you could use it. They won't even give us that to be used within this system. So
Right.
it just shows our I don't even know, comfortability, ignorance, I don't know what you call
Yeah.
it.
And our faith in this system, because as we read the steps, it only operates because we have faith in it. And so we continue to believe in it and continue to think that we're somewhat protected under their terms. We're going to be in the same place. We're not going to get from underneath the system. And, it's just crazy to me to hear that announcement and the words out of his mouth saying that it's going to be a 90-day thing. 20 something years later, no further conversation about it. No one has asked questions in regards to when we're going to get back on the gold standard, where to go at. So I just think it's, again, this is another real information that we're providing so that we could just have a clear picture of where we stand today. Not much has changed. Not much has changed at all. So it's just another eye-opening thing, because I never knew that this is how it was presented to the world, with this Gold Standard Act. So this was new to me prior to us presenting it to the channel.
Right. Did you get a chance to put the transcript in the chat? The
I
actual
will.
Okay.
Yes, I did, actually. It's pinned to the chat.
Okay. There's a
think.
couple of points on here. He said 1965 to 1969, people's paychecks were no better off. And I just want y'all to think about that right now. Let's go back to 2020 and let's look at where we are in 2023. Aren't we in the same position? Isn't it hard for our people to compete with inflation because they're printing billions of dollars of fiat and giving it to Afghanistan refugees and Ukrainian refugees, and, allowing non-citizens, to go into cities where we were living? Like, we're living through the same thing as we speak. The only difference is we're in the information age. This is probably one of the biggest blessings that we could have as a group of people, is that we don't have to physically be in a brick and mortar building to read documents. We can be in the comforts of our own home on a computer and just go to their website. We have to take advantage of this. It's intellectual warfare, and it's unfortunate that they've been able to dumb us down because they have systems in place that are training us like animals when it comes to history. And they have our parents working 9 to 5s or 9 to 9s. So, and I'm not speaking for everybody household. I'm just saying they're doing numbers. They know the numbers game. They just set up the housing in the 1968 Civil Rights Act, right? We just went over that. So they just propped up our women, put them in concentration camps, put them in projects. So when the men coming back from Vietnam War he can't come back to be with the family and the kid. If he got her pregnant before he went off the war, did his little tour, come back, she can't allow you in because you fresh from the war, but you ain't got no income coming in. So woman wants security. So she went to the state to keep the housing. Not knocking her, but I'm saying a lot of the homeless that the drug addiction, the heroin,
Mental illness, untreated mental illness.
Go ahead, Chief Pablo.
No, I was just going to say, not only the addiction and homelessness, there was a very large population of mental illness as well, untreated mental illness.
Right, and so what we're supposed to do as a group of people is we're supposed to be focused on a whole nother landmass. Dan, what happened to your grandparents? And that's the whole trick about our history through school system. Don't worry about what happened to your granddad in World War II or Korean War, or don't worry about your parents, what happened to them in Vietnam. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy as hell. Think about it. Now, this gangster as hell. You had us under intense military occupation where you could kill us at will and nobody be charged with murder prior to 1964. Then you draft in 1965, as soon as you ended desegregation, you took the same people that you would kill at will and couldn't stand and put them on the front line in war. Think about that, y'all. They were getting rid of they were getting rid of the American on the house, basically. Yeah, we'll end segregation, but yeah, we also gonna make you go fight for the same. If we gotta end segregation, then you finna fight for this shit. Talk to your uncles, talk to your parents if they still living. They put them niggas on the front line.
We
All
call
my family members,
infantrymen.
oh man, I have not met somebody yet that was in war that said that we were not on the front line from Vietnam all the way up to Afghanistan. It's the same play because we can fight. And everybody knows we can fight. And we the best fighters on planet Earth. Shout out Mike Tyson. Shout out Floyd Mayweather. Shout out Sugar Ray Robinson. Shout out Sugar Ray Leonard. Everybody know it. And white boys ain't built like that when they go to war. I have yet to hear somebody say, man, the white boys be deep on the front line. No, they put us out there. Y'all want to build?
I don't think
Yeah.
it's not much
Right.
more to say after that. Shoot,
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, the history shows. History shows. Again, going back to asking your family. You don't have to ask, African scholar, what wars did my grandfather fight in? You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
it's the same thing. And we just have to really understand it. Not even we, because us on the panel, us in the chat, we understand that. But as a collective,
Mm.
it seems like that's lost in translation.
10-4.
I agree, definitely.
So we can switch gears now that we see that they took the gold and the dollar-gold relationship. Well, let me say this last point that he said on that. The way this system is supposed to work is you're supposed to be able to take your fiat to a Federal Reserve bank, and they're supposed to, in return, give you gold or silver. That's the way this shit's supposed to work. So it's almost like how you get a check, your paycheck from your employer now, and then you go to a bank, and then the bank gives you fiat. That's not the de jure procedure. You're supposed to get the check, and you're supposed to go to the Federal Reserve Bank in your area and redeem your check in gold or silver. So now we're going to go, which he's got on the screen now, what real $5 look like prior to 1971. You see across the top, it says silver certificate backed by money. Now let's tie that in, because again, we're not taught American history when we're in high school, but when you talk to your uncles and your aunts and your parents, they tell you, oh, going to the movies was 5 cents back in our day, or a full tank of gas was $1, because they had real money. And we hear that and we think they old school, like, man, y'all were just living in old times. No, they were actually living in a real world. If we can go to congress.gov, and now what we want to tie in, and I think this is one of our biggest problems, in addition to not wanting to fight for ourselves, which is self-preservation, which is the first law of nature. The second component is going to be our financial IQ. We don't break bread with each other, okay? So from 1971, from the video you just saw, to 1984, you couldn't exchange fiat for gold or silver. From 1971 to 1984, you could not take your fiat and redeem it for gold or silver.
And
It was
illegal.
illegal.
I want to say it was supposed to last only 90 days. And now 13 years later.
But look at the hypocrisy or how, yeah, you're trying to run your car off kerosene versus gasoline. You didn't go through Congress to get nothing voted. You jumped on a TV show commercial. You said, hey, y'all, I'm finna snatch the dollar and gold relationship. It's going to be a 90-day thing. Then you try to go through jurisprudence and try to bring it back in 1984 with a gold standard at. See, you're reconstructing things. This is a theme, y'all. This is a theme. Rob you and then try to make you play right to get your shit back. Let me say that one more time. I'm going to rob you, but then you got to go through every proper procedure to get your shit back. That's the game they're playing with us. No, you can't get reparations. You can't be repaired because we can't do it to a race. But never mind that we broke our own constitution and never told you we were going to war against you. Never mind that we voted to remove your ass from the east of the Mississippi to the west. Never mind, we propped up a fake group of people in Indian territory and then gave them your name and propped them up and then continued to wage war on you for another 100 years to 1964. Damn, now we got caught on another lie because now we got to get these niggas the right to vote, but we told them that we gave them the right to vote in the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. The lies won't stop, y'all. God damn.
Yeah, it's lie after lie. And as you see, it just gets bigger and bigger. It's a snowball effect. So
Yeah.
the only way to destroy that snowball is to start telling the truth. But we know that's not
Right.
going to happen. So that's what we're here for. We have to expose that truth, expose that lie. Because as he just broke it down, it don't make sense. It don't make sense.
If we can move to what are we doing now? SD Bullion?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me pull that up real quick.
So this is a website that we pin in every description section of our video. If you're new to the channel, by the way, if you're one of the people that's come out, and shout out to the people that came from Sonetta. Let me do that real quick. We got over 300 subscribers from when we went on Sonetta. So the people that's coming over that are intellectuals and understand the power of showing documentation, shout out to y'all. But what we do over here is you can always go to the video description on any video and you can get the hard copy for your own records and read it at your own leisure. We just read it out loud for the world because at this point, we getting fucked every which way but loose. So at this point, why not put it on blast for the world to see every Sunday? That's our mindset. Hell, we losing all the way around the board. Why not just start telling the truth around this bitch? We getting our ass whooped. Now, with that being said, we're going to do a little bit of financial IQ today. And this is where the immigrants have the upper hand on us. Not only do most of us not know that Nixon separated the dollar and gold relationship, most of us don't know how to exchange currencies. You know how you hear shit when you're around your people and they be like, man, them group of people come over here and they be sending money back to their people. They have a higher financial IQ than us. They know how to convert. They know the currency exchange rates. They know how to convert fiat into gold and into silver. So we just gonna get into this a little bit. And the reason why we recommend sdbullion.com is because it educates you on this website. So you can read up first before you start converting your fiat into gold. So go ahead, Chief Biko. Anything y'all want to say before Chief Biko get into it?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Perfect. So I'm just read this first little sentence here. And it says view the live gold spot price per troy ounce, gram, and kilogram. We're gonna definitely circle back to that because that should be very familiar, especially for our group, especially with the drug culture or hip hop culture. What are most of your products going to be sold in? Grams, ounces, and kilos. So while we're thinking drugs on one hand, the world is thinking this is how money is pretty much categorized. You got ounces, grams, and kilograms. So as I continue here, it says here you can also see the 24-hour price trend for each weight. Below you'll find an interactive live gold price chart with historical pricing as well as various historic long-term gold price charts. So if we're looking at today, what we're looking at is a spot price. This is basically what gold is going for each breakdown measurement of gold. So ounces, you're looking at $1,968.37 per gram, $63.28, and per kilogram, $63,284.48. So again, going back to Go
Do me a
ahead.
favor, Chief Biko, before you do that, let's walk them through differently, if you don't mind.
Go
That,
ahead.
that should be the last one. Click on, where's the top of your screen? For on the website you were just on.
Got you.
Yeah. Because we don't want to throw that at them first. What we want, we just want to just walk through a little bit. We're going to do gold and we're going to silver, but we want to show, okay, go to spot prices.
Let me see if they got all of them.
Go to gold spot price. All right. Scroll down. And the first one we're going to do is, what is the spot price of gold? So scroll down to that point under the gold section. Scroll down and look for where it says, what is the spot price of gold? Before we start showing people numbers. And that's why we recommend this website, because this website is going to educate you on money. We don't know money. That's why we're the poorest group on our own damn land. Keep scrolling down and just look for the title that says, what is the spot price of gold?
Should be showing. We got it right here. Is it showing? It might be a lag on my end.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
So what is the gold spot price? Simply put, the fluctuating gold spot price is today's standard price discovery mechanism used to help set and establish the price of a single troy ounce of physical gold bullion. The gold spot price plays a critical role in gold sales and live gold price dynamics, as well as in other investment arenas. You will only notice that during market trading hours, beginning in Asia, late Sunday nights, and throughout the work week, the gold spot price is not constant. It often fluctuates and changes over the course of trading days. These price fluctuations are usually minor and should only play a decisive role in ultra short-term investments, not in long-term gold bullion buying.
Now, right there, before you go any further, how many of y'all see NASDAQ or the stock market throughout the day and you've never paid that shit any mind? It's okay, but understand that's why we lose. We don't know how money works. They're literally, this is why we're incompetent and they're managing everything for us. We don't even know this. But it's okay, because to recover, we got to first admit we got a problem. And the second problem we got outside of preserving ourselves is we don't know nothing about money no more. We don't know about trade. We don't know nothing about handling import, export of our own products no more. They have made us niggas. Go ahead, Chief Biko.
I'll continue here. Quite a few different factors play a role in determining the spot price at any single time, including currency values, the supply and demand of gold bullion, and gold derivatives. Examples are future contracts. So whenever you hear them talking about futures, if you ever just pass with a news channel when they're talking about the stock market, you'll hear them say futures. That's what they're talking about there. ETFs, options, current events affecting the financial markets and the world at large, market speculation, and more. So those are factors that play a role in determining the spot price of gold. With that being said, the impact of governments, central banks, big banks, and even major investors can also affect the current and future gold price. For instance, the CME Group's COMEX, which mainly dictates the ongoing day-to-day spot price for gold around the world. This entity openly encourages non-U.S. central banks to actively trade gold futures contracts amongst other various precious metals, FX and interest rates critical price discovery future contracts.
Now, the only thing out of that I want y'all to put a note on is COMEX. They dictate spot prices. So when we get back to what a spot price is, remember, COMEX controls that. So again, we got nothing to do with this. The Negro in America has nothing to do with this. We're so far gone that we booty shaking and holding fake fiat to our ear like we balling. That's what we doing. Everybody else on a whole nother frequency. Go ahead, Chief Biko.
As well, suppose the Federal Reserve began buying up private gold, or the European Central Bank started stockpiling gold bullion heavily, the surge in physical gold demand should cause prices to rise. The most gold bullion investors would need fiat currency offers for their gold many multiples higher than today's price points in order to be moved to selling. So I want to stop right there as well. A lot of people are probably hearing also in the news as well with the BRICS, a lot of countries buying back their gold, in particular from the United States. Again, that has nothing to do with us in regards to the government, but again, whose gold did they take? Among other, unlawful wars, the first one was ours. So they're having, this gold being sold off to other people, and it seems like, again, they're backing their currencies by this gold. What is that going to do for our group? Just something that we have to also think about in regards to that. So again, as it states here, that in order to recoup some of this gold, what was once possibly, and we'll see when we look at historical charts, $6 per ounce is now $100 per ounce. You see that you need more of this fiat to actually purchase what once was $6. So that's basically what it's saying in this sentence here. In general, the higher the demand for gold bullion, the higher the gold spot price will rise. When major investors, example billionaires, begin buying up large quantities of gold bullion or gold mines, this can also affect the market and gold prices positively. In the short term, or in the short to medium term, gold price dynamics can remain mostly influenced by derivatives traded on the COMEX, LBMA, etc. Contrarily, the long-term price of gold is typically decided by gold's supply-demand fundamental factors.
Right. Did we put the sdbullion.com in the chat?
In the back chat, and I'll drop it here.
Okay. And if we can go to the second point, look up the title where it says, "Is the gold spot price the cost I'll pay?" So that's what we're looking for in bold black. Scroll down a little bit.
Here's the gold price, spot price, the price I'll pay. All right, so I'll read this off. Is the gold spot price the cost I'll pay to buy an ounce of gold? No, you will not pay the gold spot price. The spot
Stop
price
right
does
there.
not.
Hold on, stop right there, because now we in my bag, because I grew up doing the war on drugs and the war on crime. Now I'm just keeping it real. Like this, there's no classroom that's needed for this, y'all. We can learn this just on some real life experience. The spot price is what in our world, through our rap music, when they talk about the
wholesales.
Let's just say Copper Empress had a bill earlier this week where she was showing the Contra and how the CIA was bringing cocaine from South America.
Correct.
Okay. You're never going to pay spot price. And in our language, we call that putting cut on it. They're going to put cut on the spot price. Everybody, I know we Americans, we figure shit out quick. That's what the spot price is. You're not going to get it for what they make it for. They're going to put a little cut on it. So you still need to know what the spot price is, because if the spot price, like for example, silver today is $24.44. If you try to buy an ounce of silver right now, you're not going to pay $24.44. You're not going to pay that. They're going to put cut on it. By the time they put the cut on it, it might be $40.
Correct.
Right? So go ahead and read the definition, but I just want to give it in everyday person's language, because we know this stuff because we've been listening to it in our music, and we grew up around it, so we know it. We just didn't know the game they were playing.
Correct. And great breakdown. So it says here, okay, no, you will not pay the gold spot price. The spot price does not apply to physical bullion investors and does not include any dealer premiums. Let me shrink this. Any dealer premiums or other charges. When you buy bullion from a dealer, you'll pay a markup, which can vary from one dealer to another. Exactly what Chief Alligator was just alluding to. I'm gonna have to mark it up so I can make a profit. This is what it's going for on, again, spot price or industry standard. But in order for me to make money, I'm going to have to put a markup on it. Dealers buy at or slightly over the spot price from mints and then add on premium to ensure they are able to make a profit and maintain their business. However, the spot price of gold is important to know because it allows you to determine whether or not you're paying a fair price with the dealer you ultimately choose. The amount between the gold dealer paid and what you're paying is the dealer's gross profit margin, which is intended to help them cover their cost of doing business.
Correct. And shout out to the generation. I'm what you call unk now, so I'm not in that world. But y'all know a lot of y'all right now smoking weed. And what do y'all say? Say, man, he got that pack, man, but he wants 75 for it, man. I know somebody got it for 50. That's exactly what spot price is. When you're trying to convert into gold and silver, you know if he whooping you or not. Like, man, spot price $24 today. How you gonna try to charge me $50 for an ounce? It's the same thing, y'all. We just don't know. Let's go to that next point. How much is an ounce of gold worth?
So we have here, hold on, let's scroll down too fast. No, that's a gram. Maybe I gotta go back down. Damn, I thought it was just underneath there.
And while you're
That's
looking for
okay,
that,
right here.
boom.
All right, so how does the gold bar price vary from the ounce of gold price? Gold is available in many different forms, including modern gold coins, gold bars, or older collectible gold coins. The gold bar price will vary depending on the amount of gold in the bar. If the bar contains 1 ounce of gold, the price will typically be slightly less per ounce than the gold price for government guaranteed and minted gold bullion coins or other similar gold bullion collectible items.
Stop right
However,
there.
okay.
Stop right there. What he just said is, in our world, in the world we come from, the war on drugs and the war on crime, the price is going to be determined by how much dope is in the key, how much pure cocaine is in the key. That's basically what that is. If you're gonna buy a gold bar, your price is gonna be determined by how much gold is in that bar. Keep going.
However, if the gold bar contains more or less gold, the price will vary mostly depending on overall weight. For instance, 1 gram gold bar will not cost the same as an ounce gold bar or a 1 kilo gold bar. Make sure to know the exact amount of gold bullion contained in any gold bar or gold coin before purchasing or selling to ensure that you are indeed getting a fair price. So basically exactly what Chief Alligator stated. You may have 1/8 gold coins, 1/4 gold coins, and that's talking about ounces or an ounce of gold as far as the coin. But again, all of those will have various price amounts depending on how much gold is within those coins. Same with the bars, same with grams.
Correct. And if we can go to the last point on this one, what are the differences in grams and ounces when applied to gold bullion? And like I said, to everybody that's still out there burning, think about it. You got some people, they just buy, you know, sacks or they'll buy grams. Then you got some people, they buy the ounce. So let's use common sense. Are you going to pay more or less if you buy an ounce versus a gram?
All right, so this last question here,
Hold on, Chief Pico. I'm making it come alive for him.
Gotcha.
We all know that grew up in Generation X era, the more you buy, the less you pay. Right? So if you buying an ounce, you're not gonna pay with that cat paying that just always come and getting dime bags or grams. It's the same thing here. The more you buy, the less you pay. Go ahead.
So what are the differences in grams and ounces when applied to gold bullion? All gold prices are based on troy ounce basis, However, you'll find bars available in gram sizes as well as kilograms. Understanding how a troy ounce breaks up into these other forms is important to ensure that you're getting a good deal. A troy ounce is 31.103 grams. So
Stop right there. Stop right there, Chief Pico. Because everybody in the hood know an ounce to be 28 grams. So key, a troy ounce, when you're dealing with money, it's got a different weight to it. The real one's gonna catch on to what I'm saying. But there's a difference between a troy ounce and an ounce that we apply in the real world. Pay attention to that. Go ahead.
So in a 1 gram bar is only a very small fraction of a troy ounce. There are 32.151 troy ounces in a kilogram bar. It's also important to understand that a troy ounce is different from a standard ounce. A standard ounce is typically 28.35 grams. So a troy ounce is slightly heavier. And that's pretty much it on that. Just thanking you for visiting. But again, a lot of information can be found just within this website in regards to how to break down of money, especially in particular to precious metals like silver and gold.
Yep. If you want to go over to silver, you can. Because silver is a little bit different than gold. The way I like to explain it to people is gold would be for like your big purchases, right? Well, let me say it correctly to you. It's all in case of an emergency. Okay. So when you convert fiat to gold or silver, you're doing that like a form of, or like an emergency fund. So like the more the world lose faith in the United States government, that's why you see all these other governments getting out of the US dollar. Niggas, not talking to everybody on this chat, but I'm saying us as a group, we get our ass whooped like a motherfucker and we still got faith in it. Everybody else is pulling out of it. All the other, that's like he said, bricks. Everybody else is like, fuck that shit. Y'all shit ass backwards. Like, no, let's convert back to gold. That's why first we got to get the information, then we got to start applying it. We're behind the world. The world is already making moves to say, we're getting off this dollar. Like, you're not just going to keep printing billions of it and just giving it around the world. But go ahead, Chief Pico.
Correct. And kind of just to go, add some more context to what you said in regards to what you would use each one for. Like you said, your gold gonna be your big purchases. So I know me personally, when it comes to a currency of this fiat, whenever I got $100 bill, I'm not trying to use that to buy some 69-cent candy. You see what I'm saying? So you want to have something that can be more used or used more efficiently on a day-to-day basis. So as he stated, if you have your gold for your big purchases, then you need to have your silver for your everyday purchases. And as we see here, again, going back to the spot price, $24.40, that seems more, more easily handled on your person versus you walking around with gold. Okay, you walking around hot. You got a lot of weight on you. So just again, just making it break down into simpler terms.
Yep. And you can see in the top left-hand corner, gold is $1,967. So why would you want a gold coin in your pocket if you're not looking to make a purchase that big? So you would definitely want silver coin. And think about movies. We don't cite the movies. Think about movies, them Western movies. What did them cowboys pay with when they went into the bar, when they entered the saloon in the town? They flipped them a silver coin. They flipped them an ounce. But we're so disconnected at this point.
That shit fly over your head. We thinking that shit just cool. Damn, that shit look cool. Nigga, flick the coin to him. But no, it's exactly right. And that kind of is explained here where it says why is silver a good investment choice in times past, going back to exactly what Chief Alligator stated. Silver was the de facto currency of the world, even more so than gold. That has changed, and today silver is an ideal investment option. By following silver prices from day to day, investors can determine whether there is an up or down trend and buy or sell appropriately.
Yep.
Let me see.
If you can go down to the point for silver where it says is the understanding the silver spot price. But we can see here, I think everybody who's listening, I think you can see if this is new information to you, then not talking to you personally, but this is why we lose as a group. We have no leaders, because going back to Dr. Carter G. Woodson, leaders would come back with information they've learned and they've practiced, and then they come back and give it to their people. The fact that we're out here, like, this is why we're being gentrified and pushed out. We don't know economics anymore. Just to make it even simpler, we won't stay 5 deep in a house to cut our expenses and build up wealth. It's funny, our grandparents had to do that due to segregation, but we'll see first generation melanated people come over here and they'll stay 10 deep in a house. And we'll look at that like it's foreign, but they're actually breaking bread together. So financial IQ is huge.
He said just understanding the silver spot price, right?
Yeah.
The spot price, what we'll pay, probably this one here. Sales by percent worldwide. Trying to look for that one. Probably this one. But what is the silver spot price used? Let's see. The spot price for silver is the theoretical cost right now for 1 troy ounce of 0.999 fine silver bullion. However, the price can change by the minute, so lower spot prices do not get considered accurate when locking in a trade. It is crucial to know precisely what the silver spot price is at the moment you want to buy or sell silver bullion.
Right. Keeping it simple, spot price. That's the first thing you would train your eye to see when you come on to a site like this. First thing you want to do is, where's my spot prices? What's it going for today? And so that way, at least you just train yourself to get in the habit of knowing what you're looking at. Right now, it probably looks like a lot of Chinese. We just trying to point some things out and just rock out like we normally do. Let's go down to is the spot price of silver what I will pay for an ounce? We kind of already know that because we went over gold, so we really don't have to read that again. You're never going to pay spot price, whether it's platinum, gold, silver. You know, you're never going to get that. What is this between? We already know what the difference of an ounce, so that's pretty much it. Now, if you want to go back up and break down the kilos, grams, and ounces, again, we know the language, but we misapply the language. If you scroll all the way back up to the top, you know, we hear it in our music. We hear our kids rapping about it. You know, we've heard Jeezy and a lot of other people always talk about ounces, grams, and kilos. We're showing you proof of claim. The world talks in ounces, grams, and kilos, but they use that language with money, not dope. Correct. We only know the language of dope when it comes to ounces, grams, and kilos. Not realize it's like we running the opposite way on the track. Everybody else is running one way. We the only ones running full speed the other way. Go ahead, Chief Biko. Shit, crazy.
No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And as I stated, this starts on Sunday, which would be, I believe, Sunday in Asia instead of China. In regards to when this market is going to be open. So whenever you see this like flash red, or I think it's just been flashing red on both the silver and gold, that means they're just market changes. But again, your day-to-day purchases may want to have, you know, some ounces of silver. Even when it comes to your, you know, your major purchases, that's when you bring out the kilos. But if you have some gold, you can go ahead and just have that same price, but you have it in a smaller size. So you have like a gold coin, and that's when you will make your larger purchases. So it's pretty much the same thing, but again, just showing you the value for these different types of metals. And then as you see here, platinum as well. I know that was a big thing coming up, at least when I was listening music growing up, people wearing platinum chains, platinum this. I didn't know platinum was damn near the same as gold as far as the pricing. So that's something that I, you know, came to the realization of, like, oh damn, okay, so platinum is the next thing underneath, you know, gold. So yeah, just educating yourself, and then getting in alignment with not only your people but pretty much the world as well, because this is what they're running on.
Correct. Anything you want to what jumped out at you about the Gold Standard Act, or anything you want to add on to that, or Chief Quietwater?
Shoot, I think it go back to this, man, for me. Oh yeah. We could definitely see what the chat say before we kind of build on it. But again, all of that, what we just read, going from, you know, Richard Nixon video to the 1984 Gold Standard Act, looking at these spot prices, all goes back to this government, not abiding by its own operating procedures. They wrote it in their foundational document, Article 1, Section 10. What did it say? Coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts. Yet, like you stated.
Now, what'll happen is a highly schooled Negro, he'll read that and try to confuse himself. No, seriously. No. This is the problem. They'll read that because I'm finna say something, and I don't want to offend anybody what I'm about to say. This is how sick we are. What Chief Biko just read, that make anything but gold and silver coin a payment of debts. We'll hear that and we'll say, well, I got a credit score. You see what I'm saying? Like, we'll go in denial about what it's supposed to be. The only way you can own something under this government is you have to use gold and silver coin. But you see how far they have us off the mark now? We're chasing credit scores and, you know, how many credit cards do you have? And, you know, borrow this and pay. Right now, they're trying to get rid of student loan debt. But nobody talks about you will never own nothing outright under this government if you don't use gold and silver coin. That shit's gonna go right over our people's head. But guess what? Every other group of people understand this.
Yeah. So really what it exposes is that all this shit is bullshit, which is exactly what we've been saying. So if you're not using the money that's supposed to be paid towards debt, then how the hell do I have debt in the first place if I never was, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have debt, but you're not giving me what is actual money. So who's really in debt? This government. You see what I'm saying? How am I in debt, but you're not even paying me in the currency that's supposed to pay off the debt? It don't make sense, y'all.
You're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to know that. You're supposed to be happy that you're in Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. You see all this chocolate around you, and you're supposed to just be happy that you're
supposed to be happy with your trinkets, man. Look, you got a car, dog. What you talking to me about? Some gold, you just pulled up in the Porsche. Don't put the money to your ear, man.
With a payment. With a payment.
Yeah, with a payment.
And still got a good credit score.
It's just, mind-boggling to me, man. But that's definitely what I took away from it. I'll let you go, Chief Quiet Water, and then we can.
Yeah, just good information. A lot of information that we just don't know as a collective. And if we did know, we would definitely move differently. Let me see what the chat has to say. Everybody definitely been on board with everything in the chat. You know, in regards to that gold standard, I asked the chat earlier if it was their first time hearing it and how it was delivered. And most people had never heard of how, you know, it was delivered. A couple people said that they heard it when they were younger or whatever, but it was new information to me in regards how that information was delivered. So
same.
Definitely just learning as we are unraveling all of this stuff.
So let me ask y'all a question. I'm just thinking about something right now. I'm thinking about propaganda and the power of the TV. We just came off almost a 3-month reading of the 1968 Indian Rights Act, where we saw Lyndon Baines Johnson lying, talking about the Negro can now do this and the Negro can do that, when Negro wasn't even written in the document. It was Indian defined, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they just go through a debt crisis a couple of weeks ago? The government, weren't they trying to tell you that they about to shut this shit down? How do you have a debt crisis and you're not even using money? Let me say that again.
Wow.
You have a debt crisis and you ain't using money.
I was gonna say, how are they talking about a debt crisis and then all of a sudden they gonna table it for another 3 years or however long?
How you raise a debt ceiling? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Sure wish I could do that.
Yeah, you know what? I ain't got it today, boss. I'm gonna just give me 3 more years
raise that ceiling.
Like, come on, y'all. This shit don't make sense. And when we just going back to thinking back when we first started, you know, breaking down those 12 steps of what we need to do and actually apply. One was, you know, convert your fiat into gold and silver. That's one way to break away from this system that we're currently in. We're seeing the world do it, but again, not saying anybody on the panel or in the chat, but as a collective, why aren't we doing it? You know?
Because we love being in an abusive relationship. There's no other way to define it. We are accustomed to the abuse at this point. We love it. We complain about it, you know. We'll get out in the street and march about it from time to time. If it's a really bad ass whooping, you know, but we are in an abusive relationship and we're okay with it. It's amazing how spiritually and subconsciously we know it's our land, because why else would you take an ass? Let me say it like this. Mm-hmm. Why would other people from other land masses run from an ass whooping? Going back to Africans running from their ass whooping coming over here.
Wow. That's it.
That's it. And we ain't leaving home. Something is so special about us that you can breaks off us and we still coming outside.
Mm-hmm. It don't matter. You just that's wild. Like, you just really broke it down. if it's, yeah, other people are leaving their ass whoopings to come to the
Right.
American dream. Yet you'll have Pan-Africanists saying, you know, why don't you take your ass to
Right.
wherever you think you're from, but you're not doing that.
Mm-mm-mm.
So you even subconsciously know, nah, I'm not leaving this place. This is my home, even if you don't want to admit it. But nah, that was a great point. Great point. Shit. Nah, definitely shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm not sure how many we
Yeah,
had.
definitely.
And what's crazy is if you ask one of them Arabs that work at a gas station or something, like, why'd you leave your land? Oh, it was bad. They'll tell you, like, and then you look at us and you be like, damn, we just,
Absolutely.
we got a chin, as they would say in boxing. Boy, niggas got chins like a
No, for real. For real.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Damn steel jaws around here. Shit. Damn, but no, that was definitely a good build.
Yeah.
Nobody in the chat, Chief Quiet Water, anybody got anything, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to
no, everybody just rocking with us. No questions or anything like that. Just support, man. I don't see anything. Like we said, we haven't seen not one pretend Confederate jump in our chat or anything
Nothing.
like that.
It's these
so
damn Pan-African. That's the crazy
Right.
shit. Like you
yeah.
said.
And they ain't even coming to the chats. That's the thing. I mean, they may be looking, but they're not, don't
Mhm.
have anything to say. So we have nothing but love and support in the chat. So thank
Well-
y'all definitely for your support.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it right there. I don't need to say. Yeah, I've
Yeah, Chief
No.
Alligator. Nah.
let me say it.
He done
Fuck
ate
it.
enough. Nah.
Right.
Fuck it. Let me say this last little piece. Fuck it. On Pan-Africanism. Let's go back to your family tree real quick. Say your mama and daddy had 3 kids. One of the kids was a Christian. One of the kids was a Muslim. One of the kids was an atheist. They all had 3 different belief systems, but they came from the same mama and daddy. It's the same thing with Pan-Africanism.
Yeah.
You can have 3 kids, one be a Moor, one wants to be a Moor, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
One's Catholic and one's Pan-African. It still don't change the fact that if his mama was Choctaw, he Choctaw like a motherfucker.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right.
And what's crazy about us is most of us will say, and this is how sick we are. Most of us will say, yeah, I got some Indian in me. No, nigga, you ain't got no Indian in you. You are Indian.
Yeah.
You see the problem. We'll say, I got some, my grandma was in. No, your mama came out your grandma. You came out your mama.
Yeah, facts.
You what your grandma was. What the hell you
My grandma was Indian.
So simple.
So my
man.
mama black. Say, huh? No, you are what your parents are. And they are who their parents are.
So simple.
And
Make
it's
that
really
shit.
just that simple. When you dealing with your family, that's the way I would, because you're gonna have people that push back, but you just kind of have to look at your family, be like, okay, we got all different kind of belief systems in the family tree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
does that have to do that we all got the same grandma?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing.
Mhm.
Absolutely nothing. No, you
Mhm.
It's
definitely
just
right
that,
about
it's
that.
just that simple, y'all.
Yeah. Just ask your parents. Damn, it ain't rocket science. Like I said, we ain't asking you to
Right.
come up with nuclear codes and shit. Like, damn. But some folks, like they said in the chat, just don't give a damn.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, y'all. Peace to everybody.
Appreciate y'all rocking with us. We'll see y'all next week. Let's get it.
Yes, sure. All right, y'all.